The rand seems to be upbeat so far today, while the local index is lagging behind. The currency firmed in early trade as the US dollar fell against most major currencies following comments from the Federal Reserve that suggested it may stop hiking rates. Simon Brown, JustOneLap founder, joins us now to take a look at the latest market moves. Simon, thank you very much for your time this afternoon. It would appear the fourth is with the rand faring much better so far this afternoon. What's driving movements there?
Afternoon, Dudu. Absolutely. And you mentioned there, we had the Federal Reserve last night. They did another 0.25% increase in their, effectively, their repo rate, taking it between 5 and 5.25%. But the key point was the bit about, are they going to pause at this point? And they didn't say that they were pausing, but they took out the statement, or the line in the statement that said continued increases. So it does look like certainly pausing is on the table. There's a lot of data, a lot more inflation numbers to come through, but that's got optimism around that. Plays through to our local market as well, and certainly we are seeing strength in the rand. We'd had a fair bit of concerns earlier in the week around that Federal Reserve meeting of last night, but it pretty much went to playbook. And the rand currently trading 8.23 against the dollar, 20.91 against sterling, and 20 rand 14 against the euro.
From strengths to weaknesses, Stats SA will be publishing the latest electricity generated and available for distribution data for March. Is it safe to assume poor generation?
It absolutely is. I don't think we're going to get perhaps the worst numbers, although we're going to certainly be there or there around. I mean, we know it in our personal lives. I'm currently sitting here with no power, running off laptop batteries and the like. And certainly load shedding, we get the occasional stage 2 or so, but mostly it's been fairly consistent. Stage 4, stage 5, stage 6. We're also seeing it in the results coming through. A lot of the industry which gets load curtailment and had been having not as bad a time perhaps as private citizens. They've seen increases in load curtailment in that first quarter as well. So we can expect what's going to be a surprise to nobody, that generation is going to be very weak in that first quarter.
Goldfields has published its operational update for the quarter ended 31 March 2023. How have they fared?
A good update. There are a lot of moving parts because they're mining all over the world. But mostly what we saw was that production is pretty much in line with what they had said they would be doing for the year. So that's pleased the market. They're keeping control of costs. That's important because the inflation that we're seeing and experiencing as individuals, that plays through to businesses as well. And that has a lot of impact on companies such as Goldfields. But they've managed to keep what we call the all-in sustained cost at just over $1,300 an ounce. They're keeping their production and guidance. So a good set of numbers, particularly considering that gold is trading just below $2,050 an ounce.
It looks like Aveng is now completely free of its historical debt. That's after the completion of the sale of Trident Steel. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, this has taken literally years and years. If memory serves, I think it's been 5 years to get to this point. Trident Steel has been an asset they've been trying to exit for a long time. Just over R1 billion. They've finally confirmed the sale. They've received the cash. And as you point out, that goes directly to their debt. They've had a significantly large debt pile. Frankly, too much debt on board for the size of the business and the operations and profitability. And getting rid of that debt certainly helps. It means they don't have those interest payments every month. So that money which was going to interest can now instead be going to profit, perhaps even some expansion. But at this point in time, I think more than anything, it's probably going to be profit. There's not a lot of scope for expansion in construction sector right now.
Okay, so Aspen has secured distribution rights in South Africa from Amgen. What do we know about this deal and its reach?
It's quite an interesting deal. It's exclusive to South Africa, although there is potential to expand that into sub-Saharan Africa. It's for the initial 5-year period, but obviously they will look at the end of the period to see if it's worth expanding. And Aspen certainly has been trying to become a supplier of choice within South Africa and sub-Saharan Africa for major pharmaceutical companies. In this case, this isn't the sort of over-the-counter drugs that we would get from a pharmacist. These are fairly high-end, typically prescribed in hospitals, surgery, bad ailments and the like. So it's not something that we'll be coming across individually, and it's not something which will be huge sales, but it's good margins, and it's a good step for Aspen as they secure those distribution rights.
Simon, before we let you go, One of the popular airlines in the country had a dealy day yesterday, with people waiting anxiously to secure their tickets. I mean, what to understand of this? I mean, it happens almost annually. Is it good for revenue?
No, it's terrible for revenue. I mean, what was it, a R9 ticket? There's no chance. They are losing a fortune on that. But what it does get is everybody talking about them, people flying. I was trying to get a ticket, and at one point I thought maybe I could get a ticket one way, and then I would pay the full price coming back, which would have been perfectly crafty for them, in the sense that I wasn't going to be flying anywhere. Now suddenly I've paid a full price. It's really more about marketing and the excitement around it. But it is great. It was their 9th birthday. It's great to see airlines surviving and coming out of the pandemic, if anything, stronger, with more routes and more capacity.
Simon Brown, JustOneLap founder, thank you very much.